10 years ago, Islam Makhachev was just Khabib's quiet teammate in the background. Fast forward to UFC 322, he's walking into MSG at a bigger weight class, bigger belt, and he walks out holding two of them after tying Anderson Silva's win streak. Somewhere along the way, the side character became the main problem, and that night might be the moment that switch flipped. So, did we just watch the moment that Islam became the top UFC fighter on the planet? And maybe the guy everybody's gonna have to chase for the next 5 years? My take, UFC 322 wasn't just a champ versus champ fight. This was the night that Islam proved his whole style skills of a weight class and kicked the door open to the GOAT conversation, whether you like his style or not. Even the people that call him boring are still quietly admitting that he might be the best right now. Welcome to Abner's Counterpunch. And let's see if this one pisses some people off. Islam Makhachev, a former lightweight champ, moves up to welterweight to fight Madalena, Australian killer, 18-fight win streak, fresh off beating Bilal for the belt, the sharpest boxer at 170, champ versus champ energy. And all those questions we had, can Islam handle the size? What happens when he can't bully guys? Yeah, he answered that in about 10 seconds. On Madalena's first rush, Islam times a perfect entry, dumps him straight on his back, and basically never lets him breathe again. By the end of 5 rounds, Islam racks up more than 19 minutes of control time, outstrikes him 123-32, and wins a 50-45 sweep on all 3 cards. No knockdowns needed, just suffocation. That wasn't just the win, that was there are levels to this in real time. Now here's the counterintuitive part. This might have been one of the least exciting title fights of the year, and still one of the most important for Islam's legacy. Even Dana White said it wasn't the craziest back and forth war, but when you hold a guy like Jack Della to basically no meaningful offense for 25 minutes, that's not boring, that's control at a level most champions never hit. Think about what JDM usually does to people. He cracks guys, breaks their guard, walks them down, but in this fight, by the time that round 3 hit, you could tell in his body language that it was screaming, yeah, I've got nothing. You've got Cejudo posting on Next that Islam's pressure is next level. You've got pros saying that he broke Jack's will, and even Craig Jones, who literally helped JDM prep, is getting clowned by Islam.
What did you say to Craig Jones after?
I told him, your jiu-jitsu not working. You have to come to Dagestan for 2-3 years.
You don't talk like that unless you felt zero danger in there. But let's talk about why this matters so much for the GOAT talk. Because moving up isn't new. Lots of champs try it. What is rare though is when their entire game gets better. At lightweight, Islam was already known for suffocating pressure, positional grappling, and sneaky striking. At welterweight, he didn't just copy and paste that. He showed up with more energy, more strength, and 0 weight cut damage. He literally said fighting at 170 made the night easy because he didn't have to drain himself. You could see it. There was no welterweight adjustment, no filling out the bigger man round. He just walks in, says, you rush, I dump you, and from there it's all about how long Jack can survive. It's not just that Islam can hang at 170, it's that 170 couldn't slow him down. Most double champs either lose speed going up or they get cracked more. But with Islam, he looked stronger, fresher, and honestly less hittable. Now, if this was just a one-off performance, then you know, cool story. Nice night at MSG. But stack this on the resume and it gets scary. With this win, Islam ties Anderson Silva's insane record of 16 straight UFC victories. He hasn't lost since 2015. Record sitting at 28-1. He's not only the second man ever to hold both the lightweight and welterweight belts, the first being BJ Penn. And he did it by beating a reigning champ in his own division. On top of that, he already ran through Charles Oliveira to get the lightweight belt. He beat Volkanovski twice, including that head kick KO on short notice. And now he shut out a welterweight killer who hadn't lost in almost a decade. So when people like Dana are saying, whatever we do next, this guy is headed toward GOAT talk, they're not just hyping the moment. That's the simple truth. But hold up, does all that automatically actually put him in the GOAT conversation? No, and this is where the conversation gets spicy. The biggest pushback you see is longevity. Guys like John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, they didn't just win belts, They defended them over and over across years and eras. Jones stacked double-digit title defenses. GSP ruled welterweight, took a break, came back, and grabbed the middleweight strap for fun. Islam's reign is still young. He's got a handful of defenses at lightweight and one welterweight title win. That's crazy impressive, but it's not 11 title defenses. Then you've got the quality of competition argument. People say JDM's wrestling was his weak spot, that Islam never fought some names like Gaethje or even Chandler, that a few opponents were on short notice or up in weight. Khabib loyalists will tell you, our guy retired undefeated, barely lost rounds. Islam had a close one with Volk and he's already got an L. And then you got the entertainment tax. You've got dudes like Ilia Topuria calling him the most boring thing in this game. And let's be real, a lot of casuals agree. All they want is rock 'em and sock 'em fights. They don't want to watch a guy get body triangled for 5 rounds. So yeah, there's legit skepticism. You know, phenomenal fighter, historic streak, but some people are like, not so fast, bro. Show me a few more years. Here's where I land after this win. Islam might not be the clear #1 GOAT yet, but if you tell me he's not in the top 10 or maybe even top 5 conversation already, I don't think you're watching closely enough, or maybe you just hate grapplers. Double champ, win streak tied with Anderson, wins over Oliveira, Volkanovski twice, JDM in the higher weight class, pound for pound list putting him at or near #1. To me, GOAT is a lifetime crown. You need longevity, you need eras, you need comebacks. Islam is still building that. But the best fighter right now, in terms of who's the hardest puzzle to solve today, I don't think that question is crazy at all. So what does he actually have to do here to shut everybody up? #1, defend the welterweight belt against real contenders. This division is nasty. Prates, Morales, Bilal, Ian Machado, whoever survives that Shark Tank. If Islam starts running through natural welterweights, not just one guy with bad wrestling, his stock skyrockets. #2, that Topuria fight is sitting there like a cheat code. You've got Ilya talking crazy, calling Islam boring, saying he'll put him out. If they ever meet, whether it be at 170 or catchweight, and Islam beats the undefeated Golden Boy, that's another elite name on the wall. #3, past Silva's streak, he's tied with 16 straight. If he hits 17, 18, 19 wins in the UFC while holding 2 belts, now you're in record book territory nobody's seen before. That's when the GOAT debate stops being a hot take and starts sounding like common sense. You don't have to love watching it, but you gotta respect what it takes to pull that off over 10 straight years so far. Now, UFC 322 wasn't just the Islam show. This card was stacked with moments. So let's hit those fast. Co-main, Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. Dream fight on paper turned into a masterclass. Valentina pitched her own 50-45, outstruck and outgrappled a 2-time champ. It was one of those nights where she reminded everybody, hey, I'm still one of the greatest to ever do it. Zhang's a savage, but Valentina made it look like she was aspiring a level up the whole time. Then Carlos Prates decides he's not here to play around and flatlines Leon Edwards. First KO loss of Leon's career. Brutal passing of the torch moment. Instantly launched Prates from who's that Brazilian dude to bro, is he next for the belt? Somebody at 170 clearly didn't get the memo that Islam just moved in, because these guys are hitting like they're trying to win a job interview. Michael Morales smashes Sean Brady with a violent first round TKO, staying undefeated and looking like a future problem. Bo Nickel, who people were starting to doubt, comes back with a nasty head kick KO over Rodolfo Vieira, reminding everyone he's not just a wrestler. And Benoit Saint Denis, 16 seconds. That's all it took to put Benil out and throw his name into the chaos at 155. And just in case that wasn't enough storylines for you, Dylan Dennis tried to start a side quest by brawling with Islam's team cage side and got himself banned from UFC events forever. That man is speedrunning NPC side missions at this point. So where does all this leave us after UFC 322? Islam Makhachev goes into Madison Square Garden and walks out with 2 titles and the MMA world arguing about his place in history. If you think he's already the GOAT, I think you're early. But if you think he doesn't belong in the conversation yet, I think you're a bit late. What I do know is this: right now, today, if you told every fighter in the world if they could dodge one guy's name on a contract, a whole lot of them are gonna scratch out Makhachev first. And the real fun starts now. because defending that 170 belt against the killers we saw tonight, maybe running into Topuria, maybe a legend like Usman, that's where we find out if this is just an insane run or the beginning of something we really will call the GOAT one day. So yeah, you don't have to like Islam's style, but you better start getting comfortable with the idea that he might be the best right now. Let's wait and see how some of these welterweight strikers match up with his style. There's a couple of dudes on this card who might accidentally be volunteering as tribute. And speaking of fighters and their legacy, Tank is going the opposite direction. Click here to see what exactly happened leading up to the Jake Paul fight cancellation and what may be in store for him next. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chaos we break down, and I'll see you later.